Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is the progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. Remember, you can also send me a tweet to EGBERTOWILLIES. That is, at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is politics done right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics and Run. I'm Egberto Willies, your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show one more time. We're going to have a great show for you today. And today, I hope if you have relatives that are real Trump supporters that only listen to Trump, please have them chime in. Please, the first thing I'd like to ask you to do is go ahead and share this on your wall, share this on your page, share this everywhere, because the only way we're going to get penetration with and get the progressive message out with this type of penetration is if you become a part of the media. You be the media as well. You go ahead and put it out there so that other people would see the benefits of what we have to offer. As far as what we have to offer, you know what it is. It is truth. It is honesty. It is civility. It is entertaining conversation with everybody, irrespective of your political ideology, irrespective of where you come from, irrespective of what you look like. So please, the first thing I ask you to do right now is to share this program on your pages, share this program on your Facebook wall, share this program on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, the Yellow Man, the Instagram, everything, because that is the way we're going to make a change. But specifically, folks, what we need here is, if you know Trump voters, have them chime in. Tell them they can even call in and try to refute whatever it is that we are saying here. But we want to have that dialogue. What's occurring in Congress that nobody's talking about on TV right now is extraordinarily important, because what I'm trying to tell you, folks, is a lot of what's going on today is because our brothers and sisters on the other side, our Trump brothers and sisters, our brothers and sisters that think these people are doing something for them, they're just not getting the news. They're not getting the real news. And to tell you the other side, what they think, because I've spoken to a whole lot. I live in a very red area. I speak to a whole lot of them in Starbucks. I speak to a whole lot of them in the grocery stores. I speak about with all these Trump voters all over the place. And what I find, again, is they're just as nice as you are. But there are a lot of things that they believe based on their frame of mind and where they're getting their information. And you can understand it. And that is where I come from in what we're doing. I am trying to really make a change. I'm not just trying to be right. First of all, for all practical purposes, we know what we're talking about is right and is the truth. But unless other folks see that, that's academic. That doesn't really matter. So share. If you have Trumpsters listening, welcome aboard. If you have folks who would like to be Trumpsters or who think they are, welcome aboard. Hello, Marie Poisson. Welcome aboard. Rudnin, my researcher, great researcher. Welcome aboard. Eileen Mize, welcome aboard to the show. Again, it's important, though, that we go ahead and share this show. What are we going to talk about today? The title of the show is Trump/GOP supporter. The GOP tax cut scam is now screwing you. And this isn't one of the past shows that we've had. This isn't about that. This is about reality now. You know, a lot of times when we spoke about this issue, we spoke about it, but to a whole lot of people, it was in an abstract form. Now we have legislation that is based on the tax cut scam. And what we're going to see and what we're seeing is exactly what we expected to see. Now, the subtitle of the show today is, we all knew it would not be long before those who voted for Trump and supported the Trump GOP tax cut scam would be screwed. It's now. And that is exactly what's happening in Congress. So while we are distracted with what Melania Trump wore, while we're distracted with a whole lot of things, these guys are trucking along in Congress, cutting you. While you are trucking along discussing whether there are yellow showers and all these things, These guys in Congress, they're trucking, they're screwing you well. They're doing what they have to do to ensure that your money doesn't go to the folks in need, but that your money goes to the wealthy folk. You know, I mean, I don't understand that level of greed. The people who run our economy, they claim they do it because the one common thing with humanity is greed is what creates profits. It's the biggest bunch of bull. Do you know human beings? It's greedy people that destroy economies. People who want everything for themselves that destroy economies. There's nothing grandiose about building in that fashion, folks. Not at all. Honesty, truth, caring about your fellow man. Those are the things that really matter. And those are the things that stay with you. All the other stuff is transient. So, folks, if you know Trumpsters, if you know people who are of the other persuasion, come on, friend them and go ahead and say, hey, come on, listen to this guy. Because what I really want to do is turn the table. I am not looking to be right, in as much as I know I am in this particular instant. My thing is to reach out and to get allies so that we can really make a change. You can come up here and scream all day. I can get in front of a microphone all day and just raise all hell about all the bad things that are occurring. Or I can actually come in here and say, hey, folks, I want to have a dialogue. I want to make a difference. I want to be able to bring you in. I want to be able to see how you think. And that's what we're all about here. So, folks, if you're just joining us, please, it's so important that you go ahead and share this live video, this Facebook Live video right now. So please go ahead and do it. Folks, remember, the tax cut scam got passed with some failing to understand its real consequences. Well, they are about to find out about them now. But it is not too late for them to make a correction. November is near, but it is imperative that they first understand exactly what is occurring. I trust that today's blog of the week will help in that regard. The blog includes a video of yesterday's show that itemized how the tax cut scam screwed us all. So, folks, I beg of thee, not only share this particular show, but share the blog of the week, because the blog of the week has quite a bit of information, including the video of a part of the show that we did yesterday, where I spoke about the tax cut scam. But this is real. We need to get this going. We really need to get this going. So, without further ado, guess what we are going to do? We are going to say this because it's time. And do you know what time it is?
It's time for the weekly blog post.
Okay, here it is. The title of the weekly blog post is Fact, red states are, in single quotes, takers, because I'm really not saying that, but I want people to use the terminology that people on the right or love to use. That kind of give more perspective. So, title, fact. Red states are takers, blue states are givers. GOP tax cuts hurt their own. I repeat, GOP tax cuts hurt their own. So we start. Here is a message that I beg my Trump supporting and GOP supporting brothers and sisters to heed. I really want you to heed this. We pointed out over and over that the Trump GOP tax cuts were a tax cut scam. We pointed that out over and over. It took away from the poor and the middle class and transferred it to the wealthy and to a wealthy few. There's no doubt about it. Math is absolute. Math is absolute. Now, while many concern themselves with the meaning of Melania's jacket, we need to be cognizant of the destructive policies that are getting little coverage by most of the media. We can all infer the meaning of Melania's jacket, a message meant to placate white nationalists as she simulates interest in the evil in the evil her husband, Trump, is inflicting on immigrant children and their parents. Sad. Sad. But it does little to affect the problems that affect us all, including the Trump supporter, and could I say, and mostly, the Trump supporter. Folks, this is deep. Very few of the masses voting for Donald Trump will ultimately get any benefits. Notice what I said. I didn't say, oh, they'll get some or whatever. I said, and I repeat, my dear friends, very few of the masses voting for Donald Trump will ultimately get any benefits out of his policies. In fact, they are now paying for those tax cuts. It's important. Make sure people hear this. They are paying for those tax cuts now. This morning, Common Dreams published the article, Slap in the Face to Poor Americans, House GOP Passes Farm Bill Attacking Nation's Hungriest Families, that revealed an unfortunate truth. It revealed an unfortunate truth, and this is what they said. This is it. Quote, with the Poor People's Campaign protesting policy violence against families and children outside of the Capitol building, House Republicans on Thursday forced through a shameful and cruel farm bill that would deprive about 2 million Americans of the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program called SNAP, often called food stamps. It is deliberate. It is a deliberate slap in the face to the millions of low-income Americans who rely on SNAP benefits to survive, declared Maurice Pearl, chair of Patriotic Millionaires. And by the way, I've interviewed Maurice Pearl several times, twice at Politics Done Right in my main studio and once at Netroots Nation. Very, very smart man, a millionaire who made it, kind of pull himself by his bootstraps for all practical purposes, but who is always willing to give back. We don't want to live in a country where the government allows its citizens to starve, and neither should anyone else. This is just another attempt by Paul Ryan to pretend that the biggest problem with the federal deficit is lazy poor people, not the $1.5 trillion tax cut he and his colleagues just gave to the richest people in the country, Pearl added, singling out the House Speaker who infamously revealed last year he's been dreaming of slashing the social safety net programs since he was drinking at Keg in college. Before I continue, we have to understand who Paul Ryan is. Paul Ryan is a man who forced all his staffers to read Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged. The book Objectivism, I like to call selfishism. This is a man who said, we want you to learn how to be as selfish as possible, and remember that if you are asking anybody to pay taxes, it is something bad. Because you're taking something that's theirs, something that they've earned. But like I said, and I mentioned every show almost, our economic system is not divine, it is man-made. And it was man-made with a bias for a few. We need a new system, but until we get it, we must take care of our own. Until we get it, we must take care of our own. Folks, this is not simple. This is not hard to understand. Now, the people that need it the most are not the people here in blue states have bad areas, all that good stuff. But the people that most depend on food stamps and all these government assistance programs, you don't see them on TV. The vast majority of them that are using these programs, you don't see it on TV. These are people who the media allows to suffer in silence, to give need a particular look, to give need a particular hue, to give need or to give others a sense of superiority because we don't suffer those things that you guys do. But as the economy percolates, as they extract more, as the powers continue to extract, as they've extracted all they could from the few, from those few, the next people they had to come to is you. And that's what they're doing. They finally got to you. And it is my job, as host of Politics Done Right, it is my job as a progressive political activist to turn over every stone, to try to get to everybody. And everybody doesn't say they try to get to progressives. I am a left-wing progressive who cares about all people, right? And as such, my goal is to get to every single American and say, folks, we cannot allow them to keep doing two things. Divide us, number one, and play us. Right now, they're playing us. They got a few people supporting the tax cut scam. Now that they're writing legislation and they have to balance their unbalanced balance. You know where they're going to get it from you. And that's what they're doing. So, Robert Greenstein, close quote. That was from the last one. I have to remember what my caller said. Anyhow, Robert Greenstein from the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities blogged the following. And I want you to listen to this carefully. This is very important because this shows you, Trump voter and others, what these guys have done. Among those likely to lose food assistance are a considerable number of working people, including parents and older workers who have low-wage jobs such as home health, aides, or cashiers, and often face fluctuating hours and bouts of temporary unemployment that could put their SNAP benefits at risk. In addition, substantial numbers of people with serious physical or mental health conditions, as well as many caregivers, may struggle either to meet the monthly work hours requirement or to provide sufficient documentation to prove they qualify for an exemption and consequently may be at risk of losing nutrition assistance. In other words, folks, you're having it hard. You're poor, but you're working. Most people work. Most people want to work. The Republicans would give you the idea that there's this great mass of people who are just lazy. They don't want to work. They want to live on the dole. They want you to pay your taxes and take care of them. There are a lot of those. But the vast majority of Americans have dignity. They don't want to walk into a store with people looking at them saying, hey, that person is on food stamps. Yeah, some folks don't care. But that's a very small minority. The vast majority of people have pride. The vast majority of people want to work. Now you have to give them something to work for, but they want to work. Continuing with the quote from Robert Greenstein at the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. While the requirements focus on adults, children too will be harmed. Because when parents lose SNAP, there are fewer resources available for poor children, flies in the face of research showing that SNAP not only reduces short-term hardship, but has a positive effect on children's long-term health and educational outcomes. So look, here we go, not understanding that what we do today can actually affect folks tomorrow. We know that giving children healthy breakfast, healthy lunch, will actually improve the growth of their minds, improve their brain function. So that if we improve their brain function when they're 19, 20 or whatever, they can take care of themselves, they can go to school, they can improve themselves. But if we create, because we're unwilling to spend a few dollars up front to create a nourished group, what do you think happens to them? What do you think will ultimately happen to them? Well, it already does. Continuing with the quote, though the bill's proponents say they want to encourage work among more SNAP recipients, the bill is likely to leave many people who face substantial barriers to work with neither earnings nor food assistance. Most people who participate in SNAP are workers. Most work while receiving SNAP, while many others are between jobs. The large majority, the vast majority of those who aren't working are caring for someone else suffering from a disability or chronic health condition that limits their ability to work or going to school. So we already have that. Why is it that they can't see it? Why can't they see it? Look, it is so important, folks, for us to start telling the truth. It is important for us to let folks know these are not people that just want to live on the dole. It is important for us to know that these are dignified people. It is important for us to know that the majority of people on SNAP, food stamps, or federal assistance, they're not a whole bunch of people of color trying to take away everybody else's money. That's not who we're talking about. But that is how your media, for those who are Trumpsters, who listen to Fox News, who listen to right-wing radio stations, etc. Folks, it is so important for you to know. They lie to you. They even have you believing that what I'm telling you is fake news, when the data is out there to find it, and they're trusting that if you go up and look it up and you find that they're lying, just a little white lie. This is dangerous. This is as dangerous as it gets, people. This is as dangerous as it gets, because they're playing with you. They're playing with your mind in order to change not only America, to change us globally. Because once we change, once we adapt a policy of lies, once we adapt that lies are the norm, once we adopt that you no longer have to hold politicians accountable, the last bastion standing, folks, then it's on. So let's really try very hard to understand this. Now, a lot of people are fooled. A lot of people are fooled into believing it is those people who need government. A lot of people like to say that, right? It is those people who need government. Really? Who do you think use more of government? The Trump supporting and GOP supporting voters, by the way, end quote from the last one. This is now back to the blog. The Trump supporting and GOP supporting voters need to understand a reality they seldom want to accept. The red states are much more dependent on government than the blue states. In fact, in the aggregate, the red states are very, very dependent on the blue states' tax dollars. The tax cuts do not help most red state residents. Here are some realities enumerated by Associates AP Fact Check that while inconvenient, one must understand. So get ready to copy this to your friends, to your right-wing friends. Let them know the truth. Here it is. Connecticut residents paid an average of $15,643 per person in federal taxes in 2015, according to a report by the Rockefeller Institute of Government. Massachusetts paid $13,582. New Jersey paid $13,137, and New York paid $12,820. California kind of came out okay. California did, in federal income tax, $10,510. But let's go to the red states now. What do they contribute to the government? At the other end, Mississippi residents paid an average of $5,740 per person. In other words, the Jersey was probably 3 times as much. While West Virginia, $6,349, Kentucky, $6,626, and South Carolina, $6,665. So low tax red states also fare better when you take into account federal spending. So they don't only pay out less than the blue states. A lot of federal spending goes there as well. Mississippi received $2.13 for every tax dollar it sent to Washington. In other words, we send Washington $1 and they give us back $2.13. Suppose you could go to a bank and give that bank $100 and they give you back $213. Wouldn't you go to that bank every hour? You'd be rich. You're a taker. That is exactly what happens with the red states. So let me repeat that now. Mississippi received $2.13 for every tax dollar the state sent to it. Washington in 2015, Washington State, according to the Rockefeller study, from West Virginia received $2.07, Kentucky $1.90, and South Carolina $1.71. Think about that. You give money, a little bit, and you get back a lot. Meanwhile, New Jersey receives 74 cents for every dollar it sent. Think about that. 74 cents for every dollar it sent. 74 cents for every dollar it sent. What else? We have Washington, or rather New York, received 81 cents for every dollar it sent. Connecticut received 82 cents, and Massachusetts 83 cents. So, folks, as you can see, blue states are subsidizing red states. And most of these blue states also have income taxes on their own. So they're paying for their services. They're paying for their people so that the federal government didn't have to. Red states said, nah, we're going to pass it to other people to do. Red states are almost like the deadbeat dad, right? You do little for your kids and you let everybody else do for them. So I think we should have a new name for, not for the people who live in red states. We should have a new name for the governors and the government of red states. They are deadbeat dads. Deadbeat dads. I said it. Should I say it again? Deadbeat dads. Okay, so California fared a bit better. It got 96 cents for every dollar it sent. So you can say break even, but no, 4 cents is a lot. On average, states receive $1.14 in federal spending for every tax dollar they sent to Washington. That's why the federal government has a budget deficit, close quote. Now, realize that in the aggregate, any tax cuts forced by Trump and the Republicans will hurt the same people who voted for them, as it gives tax relief to the wealthy. And the blue states, think about that. Tax about, we're going to make America great. We're going to change the tax laws. But most of the people that the tax laws give relief to are in blue states. What gives? Trumpsters, are you listening to me? You are being hoodwinked. We need you. We need you to be a part of a sensible situation. We need you to be a part of the sensible solution. We need you to be a part of the folks voting in November, but that will vote appropriately progressive. We need you. A lot of people say, oh, we can build our base and just activate our base and our base is larger. No. Go win every single vote, because the rules, the law, the morality is on our side. So, folks, please do it. So let me finish up with the blog, then I'll go get some questions, all right? All right, here we go. It's not liberals and progressives that are enemies of those supporting Republicans and their policies. It is those that lie to you about what they are doing to you. End of blog. That is who needs to be blamed. Those are the people we have to start taking seriously. Those are the people that we need to run out of town. So let's go to the boards. Bear with me a second as I get to the board. All right, you know me and this board, but hopefully it'll work for us today. All right, we're turning it. Oh, wait. I haven't given a pitch. I have not given a pitch. I got to give a pitch first. Folks, first of all, this is a call-in show. Telephone number 646-716-5812. Again, that number is 646-716-5812. We would love to hear from you. I would love to hear from Trump voters as well. And Trump voter, if you're out there listening, I am a very nice person. I never, ever shout at you. I don't cut you off. I give you the dignity and the respect every single American deserves, whether you're a Trump voter or otherwise. 646-716-5812. What I want to tell you as well is do remember that this is a progressive show, Politics Done Right, and we need your support. We cannot survive without you. So what I'm asking you is to please go to Patreon, Patreon.com/, patreon.com/politics done right and join the membership. Be a member of Politics Done Right. Let's go ahead and invest in ensuring that real progressive message goes out. And not only that real progressive messages go out, but also sensible messages go out. Let's make sure that what the mainstream media is not covering, that we cover it here. I tell people that call or talk to me on Facebook Live, this is your show. You have the ability to change the direction of this show. You have the ability to tell me what you want to talk about. You have the ability to interact. This is bi-directional communication and crowdsourcing. You go into our Facebook Live page and you see people in there having dialogues, exchanging ideas, both conservatives and Republicans alike. So folks, please go ahead, if you have the wherewithal, to please support Politics Done Right. It is essential that we get your support. Politics Done Right. It's at patreon.com, patreon.com/politics done right. You can click on it directly from the video. You should be able to do that directly from the video. So here's what I'd like to do now. I'd like to go ahead and get to our wonderful listeners here and see what they have to say. So bear with me 1 second as I pull those up. Okay, let's see. All right, we have Michael Rudnin. Republicans screwing the people once again. The Hill. Thank you for that article from The Hill. I hadn't read that one yet. Elaine Mize, welcome aboard, and I hope you're enjoying the show. Michael Rudnin says, Republicans in Congress just quietly passed a bill. Let me expand that. Just quietly passed a bill through committee that will substantially affect seniors. Republicans are naming their budget A Brighter American Future. It would seek to privatize senior health care, giving seniors the option of enrolling in private plans instead of Medicare. They say this will save the federal government $537 billion over the next decade in Medicare costs. The cuts to Medicaid would be much deeper. If enacted, it would turn into a block grant program. That's expected to save $1.5 trillion. There's a on this bill next to, let me tell you a vote. Here, folks, I want to tell you this. I'm going to try to be as explicit as I can. That's a lie. When it comes to healthcare, anything that is in the private sector for healthcare cannot, I repeat, cannot be less expensive than the public domain. You cannot have health insurance provided by private entities less expensive than those provided by the government. It's impossible. Profit becomes an expense. Math is absolute. So therefore, you cannot, anybody who ever tells you privatizing healthcare makes healthcare cheaper, makes healthcare less expensive, they are lying to you. It's not about they're twisting the truth or whatever. They are lying to you. Expense. Look, if I am one entity, one big healthcare entity like Medicare, I can tell a drug company, I'm not buying that at that price. That drug company wants to negotiate with me because I have buying power. And if that drug company says, well, in as much as the government developed these drugs or paid to develop these drugs, we're still going to milk you. That's not how it works. Look, let me give you the law of the land. It's an absolute. And I would discuss this with anybody who wants to have a logical discussion, a civil logical discussion. It is impossible for private healthcare to be less expensive than public healthcare because private healthcare has to pay the same doctors. It has to have the same procedures, but it's even worse. When you're in a private system, you duplicate a lot of efforts, several vice presidents, several presidents, several different computer systems. All of that is separated out. It's not efficient. You get one thing, like Medicare for all. And what happens? You consolidate everything. And when everything is consolidated, it becomes cheaper. Also, you don't have a whole bunch of shareholders who must make a profit. You don't. That profit has to come out of your premiums as well, or your taxes, one or the other. If it's done by the public sector, no profit. I mean, the same executive that would have run it in a private sector can run it in the public sector. And the truth of the matter is you can give him the same salary if you want to. I think most of the time it's overpaid, but if you really wanted to, what I'm going to tell you is you can do all the things you would have done in the private sector, exactly the way they did it. The only difference is that there won't be profit. So that's more money that can be led towards healing people. They don't want to tell you this. They want to create this facade that somehow the private sector magically can fix everything. Folks, it cannot. It cannot. And it depends on you being ignorant. The powers of this plutocracy who wants to make money on everything. I don't have a problem making money on software. I don't have a problem making money on certain types of food, selling things. I do have a problem with healthcare and a profit. Folks, they depend on you to be ignorant. Please, let's going forward. Don't allow that. It doesn't matter if you're a liberal, progressive, conservative, right wing. We all get sick and we all need to be healed. There should be no debate there. There should be no debate. Okay, Maria Pousson, welcome aboard and hello. Michael Rudnin, 1 day's worth of distraction. Yes, it is. Tom Hines, yes, distract. Michael Redden again, 1 day's worth of... Oh, I saw that one already. Kathleen Morgan, hello. Hi, Kathleen, my coffee party sister. Okay, Michael Redden, this article being discussed. Thank you for putting that out, Michael. With the poor people's... let me expand. I think I read that already. Let me go ahead and refresh this page. Let's go refresh the page. Because we want to make sure. And folks, I would appreciate if you'd call in. Again, that number is 646-716-5812. Again, that number is 646-716-5812. Okay, let's go back to reading. Okay, let's see. I've covered that. I don't see a lot. Oh, you know why we probably don't have that much traffic in the chat room? The Democratic Convention is on. So are all my people in here conservatives, or did you just miss the Democratic Convention? All right, here's what Rodnan found. Medicare for all can be $500 billion cheaper than our current for-profit system while increasing coverage, mostly by cutting the insurance corporations' overhead and bargaining for cheaper drugs. Okay, we also have, pardon Egberto, sometimes I copy-paste the article you're talking about, especially when you're talking about something important. Look, Michael, like I call you, you're so important to that room. Thank you for doing so. I think it is very important. Okay, private entities can provide cheaper health care by denying coverage. Did you hear that? That is the only way to provide cheaper coverage. So, in effect, Rudnin said, Egberto, you're wrong because you're thinking morally. Okay? So, what I need to say, or what I need to correct is I need to say, it is impossible for private health care to provide the same service that public health care can at a cost that is lower. Impossible. Mathematically impossible. So do not accept the lie from Republicans. Do not accept the lie from Blue Dog Democrats. And let's not give the Democrat, what do they say? Take the Democrats off the hook. They are just as complicit. When we owned everything, we could have had Medicare for all, or at least the public option. They canned it. Okay, let's see where I'm at and see if any more came in. I wanted more interaction with my people. Where are you, folks? 646-716-5812. Okay, let's see what Randy Barr says. Hatred and programming. I think you're right about that. I know you don't mean hatred from my show, because this show we are very conciliatory and we try to bring in folks from all sides. So come on, folks, if you are from some other ideology and you completely disagree with me, I would love to hear from you. Michael Dean Newton, welcome aboard. Tom Hines, Michael Rutten. No, I see that you have the join message there. Okay, let's see what else. What else can I find in here that I haven't spoken about, that I haven't read yet? Okay, well, I don't see any more new comments. If you have any comments that you don't want to come on air, okay, we have one from Michael Cisak. I see it on another screen. Let's see if I can see it here now. Hold 1 second, folks. This is live radio for you. Or actually, this is not, we don't call, this is live media. Okay, Michael Cisak. Medicare denies care as well, even more times. CSAC. I made the case why it is impossible for private health care to be cheaper than public health care. Don't give me a line that just says Medicare denies care as well. Medicare denies care that we always knew they were going to deny, whether it's not, the care is not feasible, the care is too expensive. I mean, I have a living will. If there are certain things wrong with me, pull the plug. I don't want to be saved. Not everybody thinks that way. But people who are given service must know that, and they must know after XYZ we're not going to cover. There's nothing wrong with that. That is to save the entire system. But what private insurance companies do is evil. And what hospitals charge is evil. Because we can take that money directly and show where it fits the bottom line of the shareholders and the executives. We can see where the pilfer occurs. We can see all those dollars that serve no purpose other than to enrich a few. That's what we're fighting, folks. That is what we're fighting. And boy, do you need to be on that army. Do you need to be on that bandwagon? Do you need to be there? Okay, I'm going to hold this topic out for another 2 minutes to see if any more people come in with some messaging. And then we'll move on to another subject. But I'd love to hear from you guys at first. I give you the option to come in now. So I'm going to hold the door open for another minute or so before we go to another blog. Given that this one here, you don't have much to say about it, but bear with me 1 second. Come on, Facebook. Come on. Come on. Come on. All right. All right. We are almost there. And we're almost there. Now, while I try to find this other blog, I want to remind you guys that this is a political show, a progressive show, that is. And our goal, our intent, is to give you a lot of information. Information that you must know, information that you should know, information that is being denied you by the mainstream media for various reasons. Some of them justified, like we can't talk against Ambien because they have some big commercials on us. Well, I can understand why. I can understand how also that becomes fairly evil. And why? Why? Because, folks, we cannot do that. We have to support that which support people, period. We just can't do that. And when we do that, it just changes, it simply changes who we are. So folks, please go ahead and go to patreon.com, patreon.com/politics done right. Politics done right is one word. We need your support. We need you to be able to say, I am going to show you that we are going to keep progressive media on the air. We are going to keep progressive media on the air. We will keep progressive media on the air. patreon.com/politics done right. Now, if you want to change the subject as well, you can always call 646-716-5812 and change the subject. That is how we roll here. Now I'm going to check the Facebook Live one last time to see if there are new messages to cover. Because like I said, this is your show. This is your show. All right, come on. Hurry up and update. Let's see. Tom Hines says, let's go to Mike Cisak. That is on service already done. Oh, okay, Michael. Still trying to figure out Melania's overcoat. Who and what was that aimed at? Look, Trump got caught with his pants down. You know, this stuff seems to be was happening for a long time. Separating children from their parents was happening for a long time. And the evilness with which it's being done is just expanding. But Trump people like it. These kids are dispersed all over the country. People are making a ton of money taking care of them. probably more money so than if you just hired a babysitter for each of them. But they're making a whole lot of money, so it's profitable. So they wanted to keep it as silent as possible and use these people. They're using these people as nothing more than a commodity. These immigrant children are simply there to make money, just like people of color and poor white people are used to make money for the prison industrial complex and to create cheap labor that are building products in the United States. It's not hard to figure out this stuff. It's just sometimes hard to get it if you don't know the sources to hit. That's who we are here, Politics Done Right. We are going to tell you the truth. We are going to tell you the sources. We are going to let you know what's going on. And yeah, what Melania was saying is, look, to placate some of the country, I got to fly to that hellhole, Texas, McAllen area and visit those people. I got to go visit those people. That's all I got to do, visit them. But white nationalists, I want you to know, I don't give a damn. And you notice the t-shirt I'm wearing? And you notice the coat I'm wearing? I just want you to know. And you can see this was a deliberate act. When she went on to she made sure to have it on when she's going on to the plane. She makes sure not to have it on when she's going to the memorial service. Folks, this is classic. This is so classic. We need you folks. We need you to be aware of what's going on, because this is what's happening in our country today. This is what's happening in our country today. So what Melania was trying to do, what Melania was trying to do is what Trump does all the time. The dog whistles, and they wanted to make sure the dog whistles were being listened to. Maybe another diversion. Tom Hines, yes sir. Okay, let's see. David Salerno says he's pushing the envelope to see what they can get away with. That's all he's ever done. Even in his business life, that's all he's ever done. He pushes the envelope, and when he's about to fall over a cliff, he then backs up. And that is what we have to get him to do as well. We're going to get him to back up. We're going to force him to back up. We will force him to back up. But it requires your help. And your help means ensuring that stations like Politics Done Right stay on air, ensuring that you can go to patreon.com, patreon.com/Politics Done Right, and buy Politics Done Right a coffee. Buy us a coffee. That's all. Buy us a coffee. And what that does is that helps us get more memberships. Look, we need thousands of memberships to make this viable, because we do a lot. We do a whole lot. So we need thousands of memberships to get this stuff done. So we need you to we ask that you support, but we also ask that you ask others to support, because peer push is a good thing. Go ahead and support us, and then go ahead and pass it on to other friends. Hey, we support Politics Done Right, and you know why we support Politics Done Right? Because there's this guy there, Egberto Willies and others, that make sure that even if things are hard to hear, we listen. Even if things are not going necessarily right, he listens. Even if you don't agree with him, he listens. And he doesn't listen waiting to answer you the next call. He doesn't listen to you, or here I'm talking about myself in the third person. I don't just listen to you. I hear you. When people send me emails, and I get a lot of emails from people who read my blogs. When people send me emails, I don't just throw it to the side. In fact, sometimes you'll notice it takes a while before I answer. And the reason it takes a while before I answer is like, I don't want to give you a half answer. If it's something that needs a poised answer, if it is something that needs a deterministic answer, I want to do that. So folks, this is not mainstream media. We beg for your support. We ask for your support. We need your support at patreon.com/Politics Done Right. We have some goodies that we give away with these things. So, I mean, it's not like we're just asking. And again, what we're asking for is, buy a cup of coffee. A cup of coffee is a month or so. It helps. And if we can get a few thousands doing that, we'll be great. It'll be working fine. We can upgrade our equipment to give you some better video and everything. So, folks, stay with us. We are Politics Done Right. We need you to stay with us. And if you have the wherewithal, call. Do you want to change the subject of the show? Call. Do you want to put your own input? Call. This platform also belongs to you. And a lot of people say that in radio or TV or media. This belongs to you. I really mean it. And I brought all kinds of folks in here. Some political, some not. I brought the marijuana folks in here. Some folks that are trying to promote the legalization of marijuana throughout the country. We take care of all those voices. All those voices that are always unheard. We hear. We listen. So we ask you again, please go ahead and go to patreon.com, patreon.com/Politics Done Right. Support us. We'll be here for you. Now, what's on the agenda for Congress? Oh yeah, they want to get that bill out. They need to cut all these food programs. They need to cut all these other programs because that millionaire needs his money. That millionaire needs his or her money. What I want to do, folks, now is I want to play for you that piece that I did on yesterday's show because it is so very important. So here we go. No, let me tell you. Even in the tax cut scam that we had from Donald Trump, they got monies three ways. Three ways. You got screwed. I'm going to show that it may even be four ways. Here's the deal. They brought back their monies into the country, all the foreign money that these corporations had on the outside people. And folks, if you're in your car, if you're on Facebook Live, wherever you are, I need you to understand this because a lot of people don't get it. They don't get how bad the tax cut scam was because the media outside is not telling you how bad it was or it is. Here's the deal. They got to bring back in monies, overseas monies that weren't taxed. They got to bring that money in at a very reduced tax rate. Number one. So that is monies that should have been in our treasury that's not there. So that's numero uno. Remember, they bring that money in. They claim they were going to recirculate that money into the economy. False. They gave a few bonuses so that the media could pick up that they gave a few bonuses. That's the only thing they did with it. But what did they use the vast plurality of that money to do? Stock buybacks. What does that mean? They're going to make some money some more. Let me show you what stock buybacks mean. Stock buybacks mean this. If I take stocks out of circulation with buybacks, it means the price of that stock appreciates. What that means is that stock price goes up, goes higher. The person who owns that stock is wealthier. They didn't give that stuff back as dividends. Dividends would have been taxed as regular money, right? Regular income, which would have given the coffers of government more money as well. But no, they made it something that became capital gains. So what? The Treasury got screwed again. There's yet another way that the Treasury got screwed. Even without that, the tax cut. When they went ahead and they said, okay, people, we are going to cut your taxes and we give people a few pennies and the wealthy gets a whole bunch of money. There was no money to give either the people who got a little bit of money or the people who got a lot of money. So that was deficit spending. So that was more money out of the coffers, all right? And they get it. They get the most of it. Now, in order for the country to continue running, that's number 3. It's going to be 5. That's number 3. In order for the country to continue running, we still need the money. So we have to borrow the money. Guess who has the money to be borrowed? The same people that got the tax cut. So they loan us back the money that we gave them in tax cuts and charge us interest on that money. And who pays the interest on that money? We do. So we also transfer more money to them. And it's not done yet. It's even deeper. Because in order to make the budget not as bad as it would have otherwise been, they start to cut other programs programs like some supplemental funding to the Affordable Care Act, to Medicare, to and all these other programs, and they cut that stuff that for kids. I don't remember what it's called right now. So what it means now is that your health care cost in October, when you get your bill, you're going to be shocked, because now it's going to cost more. And the money that you got back, the few people, the people that's not rich, that got back some money in their taxes, they won't see that money, because it was at the expense of higher premiums for health care. It was at the expense for higher fees in parks. It was at the expense for all these other things they cut. So you middle class folks, my dear friends who voted for Trump, who believed what he said, you didn't only get screwed. You didn't only not get the tax cuts you expected. You got ripped off. He even took more out of you. And the people that got the spoils were the owners of the healthcare companies, were the owners of the pharmaceuticals, were the people who are loaning us the money to keep the government working. Folks, it is a scam. And I want my right-wingers. I really, really want it. First of all, all of us have right-wing family. I got members in my family that are right-wing as well. You have to give this little piece, that little segment that I just told, to your right-wing friends. It's imperative, because they don't know how much they've been screwed by the tax cut scam. It is real. It is absolutely real. This is not made up. You can look it up.
Okay, I hope you got it. I hope you got that, because that is so very, very important for us to realize that. And I think if Trump voters see this in the right context, in the right frame of mind, I think it will do them well. And not only that, I think from a lot of the talking that I've been doing here in my red area, I think some of them are almost ready to listen. I think some of them are almost ready to listen. So folks, let's get one more pitch in, and then we will be out. Well, before I do that, let me get to the board and see if anybody had any comments first. Make sure and take care of our people. So, but it is important. Let's go ahead and do this here. Bring more people in. It is important for us to understand what's going on. All right, come on, papers. All right, we have Michael Redden says, CHIP is the child service that Republicans want to cut. You're correct about that. At an expense of 25% steel tariff and 10% aluminum. Okay. René Perpetua, CHIP children's health care. Okay, that he's pushing. Okay, I think I think I pretty much now covered all the messages. Folks, please do remember that we need you to support, we really need you to support Progressive Radio. Politics Done Right. We have several subscribers in the room right now. We will be posting names of subscribers on their own page, thanking them very shortly. We also have some goodies to give away. We're still waiting to get the right count to go and start issuing the reprints of our books. The online books, we're still setting that up so that you can download them directly from a Patreon, your Patreon account. All of that is being worked on. I'm sorry for those that were the early adopters, but you're working with me as I prepare all these pieces of the website that automates a whole lot of this stuff. Remember, we work here on a shoestring budget. In other words, the grand total amount of folks doing the programming of the website and the producing is a grand total of 1. So what we're asking for, my friends, is to please help us support this. The reality is we need a producer. The reality is we need more than a producer. We need some more people in the field. Right now, I do the field as well as the producing. So it would be great if we got some more folks out there when we are going out to New Orleans. It's just going to be 2 of us in New Orleans doing all the work, getting everything prepared. So please help support us at patreon.com/politicsdoneright. That's patreon.com/politicsdoneright. They have Coke, we have you. They have Coke, we have you. We much rather have hundreds of thousands of you than just one person just given to make sure that everybody's corrupted and make sure that everybody is on the same wavelength. That's not how we roll here. we crowdsource everything. We make sure that we provide to you. We make sure that we provide to you real information, and many times information not exactly covered or explained on the mainstream media. That's what we're for. We try to open doors to politicians, specifically progressive politicians that normally don't get airtimes. And I must say our record is very good. We've only lost only two people that have been on our shows right now have lost their primaries or their elections. So knock knock. Just may be a good thing. We'll have people like Beto O'Rourke here pretty soon, and we got a note from the governor running for the Democratic candidate for governor running for Texas. But we'll have a whole lot of these politicians on in the next few weeks as well. I think you're going to love what we have to offer. Please, though, in order for us to do all of this, we need your support. Patreon.com/politicsdoneright, Patreon.com/politicsdoneright, Patreon.com/politicsdoneright. We have to close the show down now. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right. And you know what I'm going to say right now. I am out.
Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is the progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. Remember, you can also send me a tweet to EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right.
1, 2, 3, 4.